Ah, hello everyone. A little button trouble here this morning. Happy Monday. Gosh, it's April 20th, 2026. I'm Leslie Flowers, and I'm your host to Mind Over Matter Mondays. I am so excited to be here, and I see somehow this didn't stick for my background. Just come right on in, everybody. Now, this is what I wanted for the background. Oh, interesting. Well, I guess you're stuck with me exactly as I am. So, come on in, everybody. Tell us where you're calling in from. I'm so excited today. We have a most amazing guest. Her name is Coach Carrie Willis, and right now she's sitting in the studio sipping on tea and croissants for the next 15 minutes as she does her breathing. And I want to check and make sure that we are live on LinkedIn. So please let us know as soon as you come in where you're calling from. And so I can double check here to make sure LinkedIn has done its thing. It has.
Amazing guest.
There we go. Okay. Yes,
Carrie.
people are coming in, but we're not seeing the comments yet. So let me turn this on right here. And isn't that interesting? Okay, it may take a few minutes. So, who I saw here, who hasn't come into the comments, and what I do.
Listen, right now she's sitting in the studio.
Okay, wait a second there. So I do this 15 minutes and welcome in everybody to acknowledge you. Mind Over Matter Mondays is a weekly show, and here we go with the comments. Fabulous. It's a weekly show where we bring in guest teachers to discuss the basic elements of personal development. Each of the guest teachers is committed to you transforming your lives into a form of wealth, health, and happiness, to live a kind and integrative life, to aspire to live that way. And so each teacher has their own discipline and is at a different level of awareness, but the concepts are the same. So you, the listener, are also at new levels of awareness each week as you come and as you fill your mind with new ideas and concepts. You too grow in conscious awareness. And what does that mean? It means that you have infinite potential. And as you consider objectively new ideas and even catch yourself when you're resistant, you are growing in conscious awareness of your potential. You start to get different and better ideas. And most of all, you never hear the same thing twice. And what that means is what does not come out of your mouth is, I already know that. Because the reality here is that we're always growing. We're either growing or disintegrating. And that's the law of vibration. One of the things that I teach. Okay, good. I just want to get this set up. All right, so let's see who's here. Oh boy, this is my 15 minutes, and this is where our guest gets to gather themselves. And I really want to acknowledge every one of our guests, and wait till you hear what Coach Carrie is going to share with you. You're going to hear some things about her that you likely didn't know. And the purpose of having all the guest teachers here each week is for you to determine which one resonates the most with you. Who are you connecting with? And if you decide that you want to work with a coach or a mentor, or in this case, Coach Carrie coaches around finances, then you will know her well enough to know if you resonate with each other. That's why when Felipe talks about his dog, everybody who has dogs really relates to Copper, right? It's really a joy to see. So first of all, let me say good morning to my good friend Stephen Eng. Well, never met him. I'm hoping later this year we will, if we're fortunate enough to have a book signing for one of Nicole Angay Galindo's anthology, of which I'm a part, and we'll all come to New York. So glad that you're here, Stephen. Thank you so much for your support. And being here every week as much as you can really allows you to enjoy the law of learning, which is repetition. We all know that we learn through repetition. We only need to go back to riding a bike, right? It just took practice, but we started with bruised knees and bloody elbows, but we didn't care when we were kids. We care more now. So I'm so glad you're here, Stephen. And there's my wonderful, wonderful friend, Adrienne Gerget. She's up in the New York area and works in the digital realm and business. And yet she's a lover also of poetry. That's something I learned about her. And it really helps to know what it is about people that has them balance their lives. And it's so easy to see, right, that art is so important to her and the written word. Adrienne, thank you so much for being here and for always supporting this event and the Friday 11 a.m. event. You know I see you. All right, let me go right here. Hello, Aruna. Aruna, you're a new visitor. I'm so glad that you're here. Let us know where you're calling from or live streaming in from. And there is the wonderful, I'm glad you're here, Leanna Stock, who lives in Duluth, Minnesota. Had a very, very cold winter this year, but made sure to send us all beautiful photographs of winter scenes from her home. And that really helped a lot of us who were cold. But the thing about Leanna is that she is a registered dietitian and certified in a number of different areas about diabetes. This is something unusual that unless you know Leanna, you wouldn't know that. But now you do. Oh, thank you, Meryl. Thank you. I appreciate that. And yes, Meryl Cass helps us all stay abreast of the live shows that we get every week, which is fabulous. I do a carousel, and then Meryl feeds that DM with all those hosts and replicates some of the things and brings in new things. So as we have not yet found a really great way to keep track of all the really powerful complimentary programs that are here live where you can save money. You don't have to necessarily jump around. It's all right here. I do a weekly carousel, and Meryl makes sure that you know about it. He knows a lot more people than I do. So thanks for being here, and always thank you for your support. I can always count on you. It's fabulous. Here is Sajid Kumar. He's up in Toronto. He is one of the go-to people on human resources and what's going on in Canada. Really understands the work about the mind. This is unusual for someone in HR because this is not part of conventional teaching anywhere, really. The power of the mind and the work that we do here, it isn't part of your neuro degree. It isn't part, when you're a therapist, you don't know about this work. It's been here for over 100 years, even before Jung and all the well-known psychologists. But for whatever reason, it has not worked its way into conventional teaching and certification, even for coaches. And the problem with that is we need practical applications. And that's what Coach Carrie will do today. We need, when we are starting out something that we haven't done before or that we've been fearful about or we just don't like, right? We don't want to, right? We need a step. It's like putting your toe in the water. And unless you understand exactly, or you're learning how the mind works and how you actually can control these things, you can control that fear long enough to stick your toe in the water, and then you realize that there was nothing to fear but fear itself. Thank you, Winston Churchill. Sajid Kumar is the one to follow when it comes to HR overviews and up-to-date information in Toronto, Canada, and all over the world. So thank you so much, Sajid Kumar, for always being here. I just love it when you come in. It makes me know that everything is right with the world. Here's the amazing Jackie Hallberg, who just wrote a piece on LinkedIn today that was stunning and long overdue. And Jackie, I want to talk to you about that offline. Jackie has a show Monday night tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, Just Jacks and Friends. And each week she brings in two folks in our communities that we either know or we haven't met yet and shines a light on a particular angle of their lives that you wouldn't get here on LinkedIn. That's what I attempt to do as well, to an extent, is I want you to be able to resonate with the teacher that is best for you should you go into a collaboration or a relationship with them. So, Jackie, next week on Wednesday, I believe it is, we're going to have the once a month Wishful Wednesday. I think it's on the 27th, Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, with Jackie and Damien, and she'll correct me. So thanks for being here, my friend. And here's Josette, the newest member of our guest teachers for this show, Mind Over Matter Mondays. Welcome, Josette. Lots more to follow. She's become rather omnipresent through our communities and has a marvelous way about her. Thank you for gracing us. And oh my goodness, look who's here. Gosh, I haven't seen you, Kelly. So glad you're here. Kelly Steinecke, marketing maven. And we got involved initially with Don Cohen's lives. And gosh, she was on every week. So happy to see you, Kelly. Truly, truly happy that you're here. Love your smiling face and your graphics with the hat turned around backwards and you sitting at your desk. I mean, that's kind of, I knew that was Kelly. So glad you're here. Here's Lauren Benberry. She's out on the West Coast. It's early for you. Beautifully photogenic, kind, and loving soul. Lauren, thank you for being here. I know you can't always stay the whole time. I appreciate so much that you're here in our friendship. We wrote together in an anthology, and that's how we got to know each other. So who else have we got here? Jackie. Oh, thank you, honey. Oh, I am off today, so I actually get to join the full session. I set a lot of people off today. I'm not sure why, but that's fabulous. Thank you. Okay, Leanna and Melanie Richards. Her show is at 1 o'clock today. Double check. I think it's 1 o'clock. I don't know. Sometimes her times are a little, maybe it's 2. My fault here. Anyway, Melanie Richards is the trust lady, and she is also a guest teacher on this show. And so the teachers are all filling in the spots and the topics for each Monday on a lovely spreadsheet. And we're full, almost full for May, and we have June open. So lots of excitement coming your way. And Melanie, I can't wait to have you present on trust. This is a marvelous woman. And what I love about you, Melanie, is that you don't do long lives. You usually do half-hour ones. And I have to say, you seem to get everything in 30 minutes, which gives me an extra 15 minutes for a cup of coffee. And we're sitting on 11, and we're just about to the bottom here. We've got Omar M. Hello, Omar. Omar is out in Phoenix, Arizona, just hosted a live with Martha Lobos Amaya, who is part of this community. And he is known for his Zoom party, which is like Jeopardy using Zoom, and he's really proficient at it. So much fun. Sundays at noon Eastern. He also has Do We Really Know Them? And I think Omar might have been the first one of all our lives to really start zeroing in on perspectives about our community members, things we didn't know about them that started to have us really get to know you better. And that's why it's Do We Really Know Them? And it's early for you. So I'm glad you're here, Omar. Donna Bellinger, hello. You are a new friend. Yes, I think I just saw you on a live the other day. You are so welcome and happy to see you here. And Coach Carrie is in the studio. Well, she had to put down her teacup and her croissant, right, in order to say hello to everybody. Modu, thank you so much for being here. You're in Gambia and it's afternoon. Aha. We're running a little bit over here. I'm going to go just a little faster. There's Bobby Lee Clark. 12 noon Eastern on Thursdays, Money and Mindset Matters together. You're going to love this today, Bobby Lee with Coach Carrie. I think you're really going to like the view that she shares with you, bringing mindset and money together. But anyway, Bobby Lee Clark with Connor Tyson, 12 to 12:30 Eastern on Thursdays live. And let me see who else we have. Rob Unger. Hello, Rob, a new friend. So happy to see you here. And let me just make sure. Oh, we have Leigh Scheidel. Leigh is coming in through YouTube. And Leigh, will you drop the link to YouTube, please, in case you get bumped off of LinkedIn? Leigh will, if she has time, she will, or she can grab the link so that you can watch it over there if you have trouble staying on here at LinkedIn. Leigh Scheidel has been a friend of mine for more than a decade. Multi-talented in so many different ways. What I can tell you right now is that she owns 8 drones. She's a certified drone operator, but that isn't even what she does. I mean, she does that, but she's also an amazing digital visioneer. I mean, she recently posted, when you connect with her or when you go to follow her, one of her videos of a hummingbird in slow motion. So Leigh is wonderful, and she is in an anthology that's underway right now. That's a contributory book called We Are More Than Our Diagnoses. And this is the 2nd volume, and we're in that book together. So it's very exciting. Thank you for being here. And Catherine Chadwick is here. Catherine is one of our wonderful teachers. For Monday, a guest teacher. She will be back. An amazing nurse, actress, knows a lot about neuro. She's helping me with understanding the neurosciences. But she's proficient in mind work. Always a joy to have you here, Catherine. I know you have a busy schedule. So thank you so much for being here. And Lisa Fevick is here. Lisa is a registered dietitian. And I think tomorrow afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern and every other Tuesday, she has Metamorphosis Dialogue panel and discusses what we eat and what will help us alleviate symptoms if you have a partner or you're going through menopause, but general good eating. And then she also approaches the psychological challenges that we have. Lisa, it's so wonderful to see you. Thank you for being here. And the amazing Sharon Rose Winfield, who is a guest teacher, taught us about chakras, and she has lots more to teach us, something coming up this month. Let's see, we've got a LinkedIn user who I cannot see who that is. Thank you so much for being here. The most wonderful Felipe Cofino is here. Oh gosh. Okay, we're doing okay here. So what I want to tell you is I want to finish up a little before noon so that you can all go to Shawn Michaels' 12 noon live if you can. Monday Mind Shift. I don't want to encroach into that. Felipe has every other Monday night with Sumana Jenny. He has a live called Workplace Wellness Hour, and I think they're in their 4th year. Then on Saturday, he's a co-host at noon Eastern, a Social Saturday Chat. And that is an amazing group of people that come in. You can go up on stage and they pick different topics. And then on Sunday, every other Sunday at 11 o'clock, he has Careers, Chaos, and Coaching. Now, you may wonder how I know these things. It's because I've been doing this for a couple of years. And so I'm pretty good, unless someone makes a change, at remembering. It helps me as an older citizen to sharpen my memory skills. And Felipe is a top voice in HR. A phenomenal guy and an international best-selling author himself. Okay, so the LinkedIn user, I don't know. Miriam is here. Miriam Khalid. So good to see you. Gosh, I haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for being here. All right. Okay, great. Leigh has posted in these comments the link to YouTube. So copy that. And if you get bumped off, just head over there because it's live there too. All right, we're just about finished here with this. With me, I want you to know who you are for me. I want you to know that you're seen. I want to be seen. I live by myself. So I'm very sensitive since COVID, how isolated sometimes we feel. I'm very fortunate. I have family that lives close by. I'm not complaining by any means. I'm just saying that there are times when people just need someone to say, hey, I see you. But I'm always looking for the greatness in you. So here's another great coach, Coach Lee Hopkins. He is a teacher of Mind Over Matter Mondays. Amazing. Talks about pattern recognition, right? Your own patterns. So it's just a slightly different view on what we're all talking about. So thank you for being here, my friend. Okay, double checking this, 2 p.m. live. Thank you for the confirmation, Melanie. She does have another show that sometimes starts at 1 or 1:11. I think that's you. Anyway, but this is 2 on Monday. I'm Possible Live. Thank you for squaring that away for us. All right. Oh, look who's here. Christine Feedy, recent master's degree. This woman is amazing. She's involved with ASCM now, and she's altering her brand on LinkedIn toward this profession. So support her. SCMA, I think that's it. It's a certification. Oh heck, don't ask me. I can't explain it. I'm glad you're here though. So glad you're here. All right, here's Nicole Angai Galindo. Yes, she's here as we talk and talk and talk, and I just would have so much fun with all of you. But in light of what we have in store for you, Wendy Ole is here. Let's go ahead and kick off with the intro. Thank you, Nicole, for being here, and everyone. If I missed you, I apologize. Just in the interest of time, I'm very excited to get started. So what I want to do right now is play you the amazing intro for Mind Over Matter Mondays, and this was done by Aaron Gibson, Soul Media Live Productions. Okay, and as promised, here we go with a song. Get your coffee, get your tea, something to write with. And it's 11:11. How auspicious. Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you. Why do stars fall down from the sky every time you walk by? Just like me, they long to be close to you. On the day that you were born, the angels got together and decided to create a dream come true. So they sprinkled moon dust in your hair of gold and starlight in your eyes of blue. And that is why all the girls in town follow you all around. Just like me, they long to be close to you. I love this song too, Lauren. I hope you're all enjoying this. Hi, Simone Jones. Making sure that I haven't missed anybody here. I hope you're enjoying this. Just about ready. On the day that you were born, the angels got together and decided they would make a dream come true. So they sprinkled moon dust in your hair of gold and in your eyes of blue. And that is why all the girls in town follow you all around. Just like me, they want to be close to you. Just like me, they long to be close to you. All right. I hope you love that song. I love that song. I had to practice it a bunch of times because it's very high at one point and my vocal cords needed to be stretched. So, are you ready? All right. So, let me tell you a little bit about our guest, and I'm going to bring her up on stage right now. There she is. There's Miss Carrie. Hi, Carrie. How are you, my dear?
I am always doing phenomenal, Miss Leslie. How are you?
I am super, super. So, I did a little digging on our guest today. So here's what I'm going to share about her. So I want you all to please welcome Coach Carrie Willis. She is the founder of Great Finances and a licensed financial coach and retirement specialist. With over 20 years as a public school educator, Carrie brings a rare ability to turn complex financial concepts into clear, practical understanding. Now, her work focuses on what she calls retirement clarity, helping individuals, families, and entrepreneurs cut through the confusion and make confident financial decisions. She combines her background in human development and psychology. Bet you didn't know that about Carrie. She's got degrees in those, with real life experience to guide people toward greater financial confidence and peace of mind. She is also the host of Clarity from the Heart, which is 6 p.m. Eastern on Sundays, and Carrie Connects, which is 3 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, where she leads powerful conversations on money, mindset, and visibility. So, everybody, get ready for insight, clarity, and a fresh perspective. Let's all welcome Coach Carrie Willis. Yay! Everybody's applauding. We can have hearts, etc. So I'm so glad that you're here. So let's go ahead and begin. I do want to ask you something, though. I'm going to bring this up here, and I believe I can. Give me just 1 second to get this the way I want it to be. I think this is right. You know what? I think we can do something special here. Let's do this. And we'll just bring this over like this. See, I'm getting okay on this. Okay. All right. Well, no, I don't think I like that. Oh, God, this is so frustrating sometimes. All right, let's do this one. I know what we'll do. We'll do everybody patience, as you know, complete patience. I'm working at it. I want to get this right so you can see us and you can see what we're doing. And let's just see how that works. So I want to save this and update the layout. Okay, there we are. I think that's good. What do you think, Carrie? Good? All right, here we go. All right. So, first of all, I want you to get to know Carrie. And I was interested in seeing these pictures. Carrie, what are we actually looking at here?
Well,
What are these pictures about?
the picture on the left, that is adoption day. That is myself and my son in Las Vegas, Nevada, which is where he was born. We're actually standing in front of the family court building to finalize his adoption. So I was a foster parent for several years. And at one time, I actually had 8 children living in the home and a family of 6, another young lady, and then my son, who I ended up adopting. And so that is adoption day. It's hot, sunny Las Vegas. That's October of 2011. And it was probably about 80, 90 degrees outside. And so we just had an amazing day. My husband took the picture. And that's me. I don't wear high heel shoes anymore, but that's me in some high heel boots. And we just had an amazing, amazing day. And he's now 16.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's a beautiful story. Another time I want to know how you chose him of all the ones that why you and this is the winner, right? And everybody
That
else
he
went
is
on to
definitely the winner. And what's amazing, Leslie, is that he was brought to my home. And so a lot of times adoption stories, there are different stories, but he was actually brought to our home in Las Vegas, Nevada.
oh, that is just what a beautiful story. I just didn't know, and I thank you for sharing that
Mhm.
vulnerability with us. I love that. All right, so swinging over to the right, what's our girl doing here?
Oh my goodness. Just living my best life possible. That is me in San Marco Island, Florida. Just enjoying life. One of the things I love about what I do is that I can work from anywhere. And so I just wanted evidence of that. You can see my drink in my hand. Don't worry about what's in my cup, okay?
Okay.
Right. But just, being able to take my laptop or my cell phone and work from anywhere, helping people with their finances out there at San Marco Island, Florida.
Oh, amazing, amazing. Yes, it is beautiful to see this. And I am so glad that Christy Williams is here. Thank you for coming, Christy. Always wonderful to see you. Yes, it is lovely to see that, Stephen. Okay, so we're going to get into this. I just want to ask you a question.
Hmm.
See if I can get this back the way I want it to be. All right, so here's a question for you. And this has been something I've been thinking about. So before you became the voice of financial clarity, that's what I like to think of you as, share with us something from your past that would surprise us or make us giggle or laugh a little bit.
Well, there are so many moments
Pick
where I
one.
just had to laugh at myself. But it's funny that you call me the voice of finances because I used to be the voice of poverty. Okay.
Ah,
I used to be the voice of poverty, which is one of the reasons I love what I do because I'm my ideal client. But one of the things that may be surprising to people is that I love inline skating. So I used to live in San Diego, California. There's a lake there. It's called Lake Miramar, and it's 8 miles around. And I would go every single day and skate around this lake. And so I had no idea that the bodies the muscles would need relaxation, recovery. I was just, oh, I like skating, but I had never skated that far before. And I actually ended up crawling back to my car because my muscles were so stiff, and I couldn't move really the next morning, but I went back again anyway because somebody who's smarter than I am in terms of physical fitness was like, no, you have to go back and continue to work your body, and then things will get better. And surprisingly, the second day it was no pain at all, but I did have to physically crawl from the ground to my vehicle in San Diego, California.
Oh,
But I
I
love
just,
outdoor activities.
yeah. So I wanted to ask you, what about the second day? Okay, so I get that the first day you were absolutely exhausted because I did this years and years ago when I decided I would go back and take ballet
Hmm.
when I hadn't done ballet in 15 years, right? So I threw myself into it just like you did, right? And I barely made it home. But what was the next morning like when you got up?
For me, the next morning really was tough. And I was like, well, skating just isn't for me. I decided, I didn't want to do it anymore. But through that phone call, I learned that even when you have challenges, you have to persevere. You can't stay in the storm. And I was like, go skate again. Like I know that's going to be painful. And it was for about the first mile or so. And surprisingly to me, miles 2 through 8, I didn't feel any pain at all. And none since then.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, well, now I think it's time for us, if I can get this like this. There we go. So, this is so amazing. We talked about this a long time. And what I really got after I spent about an hour with each of the guest teachers each week before, couple of days before their event, to make sure, and many of you are still in a place where you have a lot of information. So but what we want here is basic clarity in what it is you're doing and what is your mission and vision. So this one is from money fog to focus, the first step past the fear of poverty. So I want to ask you this before we get into these questions. So what is it that had you couple mindset, although it seems like a silly question now, because obviously the mindset piece came from your degree in human development and psychology. When was it that you were actually brought together your agency from university with your agency from financial recruiting and all those certifications? How did you bring it together so that you could have a double barrel effect?
I think that, it's just been a process, honestly, Leslie, over the years. I have over 200 agents on my team. And a lot of times, even with the people who decide that they want to join the team and get licensed in financial services, they still struggle with money. They still struggle with financial concepts. And so I realized that sometimes people will put money in an account, take money out of an account, open an account, close an account. And so I realized that the mindset has to be dealt with first before you can start to deal with money matters. Because the challenges that we have financially are really the challenges that a lot of us have based on our mindset around money, the things that we were taught growing up. And I realized that even though my family started the first national bank in Chicago, it was the first Black-owned bank in Chicago, Seaway National Bank, even I didn't understand money growing up. And so it really was a mindset. And for me personally, and I realized that I saw that in a lot of other people as well.
So what do you want people to get from this presentation, which is, it's brief. These are brief 4 points, but they're the core. They're the foundation of this marriage as I see it. And there are no breakups.
Right. No breakup.
Between, really what you went to university for, and coupling it perfectly. What do you want people to get out of this? What do you want them to walk away with, Carrie?
I think the same thing that I walked away with when I got my college degrees. When I first went into college, there were so many amazing majors. I was like, oh, I could major in hotel restaurant management. That was actually my first choice. And I said, oh, I can major in education. I can major in psychology. Oh, no, 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 wait, there's something else over here. And all of these shiny objects that I was able to choose from. And they were like, well, I know you like all of these, but you can only choose one. And I'm like, one? But that was the best thing that they could have taught me. And sometimes, even when it comes to money, we have all of these different things that we want to choose from, that we want to talk about, that we want to work on. And so I think I really want people to come away knowing that you can start with just one item. You don't have to do everything at once.
Oh, that's fabulous. And you know that that's my mantra, one goal at a time. So,
Mm.
yeah, I think that's awesome that we came to the same conclusion. And I didn't know about that you were interested in hotel, or that was one of the things that you should know and connect with Felipe. You probably already have that he did that work for a long time, and then right, and then he moved into human resources, as far as I understand, briefly. It's so interesting to see the threads through the lives of our community. The more we get to know you all, the more threads, in this case, threads that are hanging out are a good thing.
Mhm.
Right. Okay,
Absolutely.
so we're going from the purpose of here today is to move from a state of confusion to clarity, which is perfect along with your brand, alleviating overwhelm. So it's from money fog to focus, the first step past your fear of poverty. We talked about this a long time. I mean, how many times we talked around this in circles? What is it that we're actually doing? So let's go ahead and begin. So, talk to us about when the fear of poverty affects our clarity.
Okay, so most people, I would believe, are not scared of money, but they're sometimes scared of what they might find out about money, and so they wait, they put it off. A lot of times we stay on jobs. I did that for a long time. We stay on jobs that we've outgrown because it feels safe. So we don't have those retirement conversations. We kind of trust the organizations that we're a part of to look out for our best interest. I remember I used to get statements in the mail and I wouldn't even open the statements. I was like, oh, they're taking care of that. I wouldn't check my balances. And that's really that fear that we don't recognize that we're making financial decisions, even if we're not making financial decisions. So, whatever you're doing or not doing will have an impact on you financially. And I think the first step is really easy, Leslie. Just notice that you're doing that. That's it. So, you can't really fix what you haven't identified.
Yeah, yeah, that's absolutely right. So it's a lack of awareness, and it's really somehow out of sight, out of mind,
Hmm.
right? So let's just not even acknowledge it. But
Yeah.
you know that is that. Well, okay, so just be aware when it's coming up for you, but you're not doing anything about it. You have a concern, but you're avoiding it. And I also like what you said about, when you're working in corporate, even though, to your point, that they take care of a lot of that. And that's one of the great parts about having a corporate job, right? And honestly, as a boomer, um, we all work 30, 40 years for the same place, right? That's not the way it is now. So you don't really have, folks like IBM, you'd work for them for 40 years, you would, move up through the ranks. That's not how it works. Once technology came along, you had to move to learn the new technology.
Hmm.
So I think that for a lot of us, we just were never taught, and there's a security in corporate, but the real fear comes when you step out. If you have a love of being an entrepreneur, wouldn't you say that's when it really shows
Absolutely.
up? Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely shows up for people who are entrepreneurs. And in terms of maybe not even setting up a retirement plan, sometimes we stay as entrepreneurs, and it's really that you've hired yourself for a job. And so being able to move from entrepreneur to business owner, where you're learning to free up some of your time. And so I
Yes.
think that, that's just extremely important to be able to do that.
So Kimberly asked, what was the name of the bank that your family
Seaway National Bank, co-founded 1965.
is? That Seaway, like
You
Seaward?
got it. Yes,
Okay, well, I
Seaway
couldn't.
National Bank.
Excellent, excellent. Let's see. We have another question here, I think. Well, everything is kind of slowing down here. So, any question you have for Coach Carrie, just put the word question in the front of your comment or for what your question is, and that'll help me find it for you. Oh, James Glover is here. Sensei Fred Jordan, your friend, is here. So we got that. And Sensei Fred says greatness is on the other side of fear. Absolutely, absolutely. So the first thing is to do to become aware.
Mhm.
So tell me how you would be feeling. What are the different ways that you would be feeling? Remember, we talked about that right, so that you would notice physically. So you may not understand yet the source of it, but there are indicators by the way you're feeling. So what are some of those ways that we might be feeling when we are in a mindset of not paying attention and we're not hungry and eager to do anything about it either?
Well, one of the things that I noticed for myself was that my shoulders were up near my ears. And so I just wasn't really paying attention. There was this, always this sense of urgency or this sense of rushing, this sense of panic, this sense of worry. Even though I wasn't really paying attention to it, making sure, because I looked at my paychecks, I just didn't look at the other statements that came along. That sense of worry and making sure. I remember I used to play this game, Leslie, and it wasn't a great game to play. And so I'm not encouraging anyone to do it. But back in the day, one of the things that I used to do is I used to open bank accounts at different banks whenever they would have a promotion. They would say, oh, if you open an account here, you can get $100. If you open up an account over here and you keep it for 3 months with direct deposit, you can get $100. So I was opening up account. If you refer a friend, you can get $50 and so will they. And so it really had become almost a way of life of chasing pennies, not realizing that it takes the same energy to get $2 that it does to get $2 million.
Oh, yeah, but I actually like what you did. I never thought of that myself. Well, okay, so let's see. Stephen says you're more likely to succeed in meeting a goal if you pursue one at a time. Yes, yes. Just do one thing at a time. I think so. I really like that. But that's a tool. And is that from the fear of poverty? Or
Oh,
was it being
absolutely.
smart? Okay, so for me, I'm thinking that's quite clever and smart, and it is a solution, a temporary one, albeit because there's only so many banks. So, in your thinking, why do you see that as a behavior that came out of the fear of poverty? I'm really interested in this.
Part of the reason that I know that it was behavior from the fear of poverty is because if I really understood how money worked, I wouldn't have had $50 in this bank, $100 in that credit union, $50 over here, because my money couldn't work as hard for me as it does now. And I realized that each dollar is a soldier in the war against poverty. And so by having all of these different bank accounts and then my bills, I was costing myself more money because I forgot to transfer the account to this statement. So now this thing has bounced and that cost me an extra $30. So in the long run, the game that I was trying to play, they say you often meet your destiny trying to avoid it. Shout out to Kung Fu Panda. And so I was trying to avoid this, but I was actually just doing the very thing that I was trying to avoid because I was so scared of that happening to me.
I love it. I love it. Well, here's a question coming from Bobby Lee, which you can answer. I could answer it, but let's let you answer it. Question. In your experience, how does a parent's fear of poverty impact their children? We all have it, but I really want to hear because look, you were a foster mom and you had more than one at a time, maybe not all 8 at once, but you're right. I hope you didn't have all 8 of them
No,
at
I
the
had
same.
all 8 at once.
Oh, well, now I really do want to know why you picked the one you picked. But anyway, how does a parent's fear of poverty impact their children? What would be your take on this?
Well, in the same way that our children learn through observation. And
Mhm,
so those verbal messages, those physical messages that we give
mhm,
children, like in
mhm.
my family, we moved around a lot. And I didn't even realize until I got to college that that is one of the signs of poverty. We had lack of stability. And so when I became an adult, I moved around a lot. And I was like, hey, wait a minute, I'm doing the same thing. I went to probably 3 to 4 schools in second and third grade. So there was no consistency for my friendships, no consistency for my address. And then I did the same thing when I became an adult. I moved around a lot. Like I started to feel this sense of anxiety if I'm in the same place for too long. Even the house I live in now that I built, I've been here 5 years. September will be 6. So let's keep our fingers crossed. But in the back of my mind, I have been thinking Florida, Las Vegas, Arizona. Do I want to relocate? So that seed is still there. But the other part of it is those conversations that I heard my parents have about not right now, we can't afford this. And those conversations sometimes transfer to children where we think those things about money. And then you hear some people who say things like money is the root of all evil. Rich people are terrible people. And so you start to internalize those types of things. Oh, they're only rich because they used people. And so when you're around those types of conversations, Bobby, and when you hear people making those types of statements as children, you start to internalize that, well, I don't want to be rich because I don't want to be a bad person. You internalize the behavior that you see your parents exhibit, and also you regurgitate those conversations that you hear your parents having.
Yes, and I love that. And I would add here for those of you who have been studying with me, this is the repetition of
Hmm.
thought. This is the repeating that, and there's an energy along with what is being said in your presence. So we can't afford it. Wait till your brother gets this. We've got to move. And so this shines a very important light on children will take on through repetition the beliefs of their parents
Hmm.
because they hear it all the time. So that was excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much for that question, Bobby Lee. Let's see if there are any more questions. I love that. I love that question. And Nicole said, this was a really great question. Shook this from her childhood. Yeah. So we know Leah, she's a wonderful financial friend. It's so fun. Okay. So let's see what else. Here's something from Sharon Rose. Each dollar is a soldier in the war against poverty. Yes, yes, I love it. I love it. And as soon as you started talking about when I asked you, well, this is really clever. How is this from poverty? And you began to describe, um, the trouble we get into when we have that many accounts. I was visualizing, all of this, and it becomes very confusing. And what are we trying to do here? Moving from money fog to
Hmm.
focus, the first step past the fear of poverty. So excellent, excellent. Let's go on to the second point. Okay, so recognizing the hold confusion has over us when it comes to money. So we did talk about those expressions.
Hmm.
So what do we do next? So we recognize, I may be a little out of sync here, so you can put me right back on track here. But once we recognize that we're feeling anxious, what were the 6 ones you came up with? Anxious, overwhelmed.
Well, I think we started off with the fear of poverty affecting our clarity. That first step is to become
Yes,
aware.
right. But now there were ways to tell. And you were mentioning anxiety, et cetera. And that was in
Mhm.
another fear. Remember, it
Yeah.
was in another one of the fears, but it was okay. So now that we know, we recognize, hey, I don't feel really good about this. What's going on? What is the next step? What do we do next? Or what is an example of what you have done or a client of yours has done?
Hmm.
And they're also getting ready and they're at least willing to have the conversation. I'm going to say that for me, I grew up as a boomer. So everything is reworking. Okay. So in my generation, the husbands did everything. And none of us learned anything in school about this. Okay. I don't even know how the husbands, but they got it from their father, right? Is what I'm thinking, because that's how we learn. And so, I knew nothing. And so I liked not knowing anything. But there came a time when I hired a business coach and they insisted that I learn to do a profit and loss. And come to find out, for this very topic, I had been spending money on subscriptions that I hadn't used in years. But Animoto, I don't know if you remember Animoto, but that was the top of the line at one time, and you just had to have that. And so I realized that just taking that first step allowed me to save myself $500 a month. So it's like out of sight, out of mind for the baby boomers. What is it that has a person decide now they're going to look at it?
Well, I think recognizing once you have that awareness, because confusion, honestly, sometimes it acts like a stop sign when you're confused about money. You know, you need to do something, you're not sure where to start. And we start to believe that this is really just like a way of life. And so we don't do anything. But every day that we wait, it costs us money. The prices go up, time is going to pass. And the longer we wait, sometimes the harder it gets to know where to start. And so again, it's not doing everything at one time. It's doing one thing. And the one thing is really just a conversation. Learn one thing that you didn't know before. And I love that you mentioned that we are not taught these things in school, because we're absolutely not taught these things in school. And so because we're not taught them in elementary school, middle school, high school, even in college, I come across a lot of people who are certified public accountants, who are in the financial space. Maybe they have a degree in finance and even they don't understand how money works. I have a lot of friends who work at banks and they are like, oh, I didn't know that. And that's okay, because none of us know everything. I always say we're all in the biggest room, and that is the room for improvement. And so there's always something that you can learn, but that's how you start the fog to lift, just by having that one conversation. And I know for me, just like you talked about the subscriptions, I had 6 different devices for myself and my son, tablets and cell phones and the watches. All of those things have account numbers, and so they all were a part of the bill. But I was able to lower my bill just by looking at what is the goal. The goal was to be able to talk to the people that I care about, whether I was at home or whether I was in my vehicle. Well, that just requires Wi-Fi. So instead of paying the $400 a month, the Wi-Fi is about $100 in my house, and it's about $25 in my car. So I saved myself about $325 just because I was willing to let go of the phone bill. And so now I use Wi-Fi and Google Voice. But it's the same thing about those subscriptions. I mean, I had Netflix, I had YouTube TV, I had Apple television, Netflix, Prime Video. And so I realized just by taking a look at my statement, I didn't even know that through my internet provider, they offered 3 of the services that I was paying for were included. All I had to do was click the button and subscribe. So I was able to get Netflix, Peacock, and Apple included in my Wi-Fi bill. So sometimes just having that one conversation and you'll learn something that you didn't know before. And it may be as simple as merging some of your subscriptions or eliminating some of your subscriptions. Just getting the fog to lift a little bit.
I want you all to notice something here as speakers and context. So Coach Carrie, oh, hi, there's Stanley, our sponsor for this show. Hi, Stanley. So glad you're here. I'm going to play a video in just a second to acknowledge our sponsor, Stanley Green, Power Thinking Corporation. Thanks for being here, Stanley. Carrie is doing something that is kind of like under the radar, but you notice when she gave the examples of I saved this. I mean, the most money we've talked about here is $500. where I said I saved $500. Now, look, we could talk about 100,000 and 50,000, but the context is inaccurate for our community. And so I just want to acknowledge you, Coach Carrie, for honoring this, who we are, right? I don't think any of us are multimillionaires. And if we are, we've been keeping it hidden. Right. So for me, you're more relatable to me when you're talking honest to God, 25, 50, 100, 200, $300, like right there. You know, that's dinner with everybody, covering everybody's dinner one night. And to me, that's high value. So I just want to acknowledge you for that. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Now let's pause here for a minute. Okay. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to turn this off because I do want to tell you a little bit about Power Thinking Corporation and what Stanley Green has made available to you. So everyone, if you go to your favorite app store right now, you can download for 30 days a complimentary application, Power Thinking Corp. Why would you do that? Well, many of us subscribe to Power Thinking, and we come in through our laptop, our cell phone, through telephone, and now everything is all in one place. It's a CBT-based personal development system that's been around for quite a while, and there's lots of results. So thank you, Stanley, so much for doing that for us. Oops, why am I going the wrong way? I'm sorry. I meant to go this way. There we go. All right, we're back to normal here. Let me make sure that you. Okay, let me see what it says here. Make sure that you keep that Power Thinking. Okay, yeah, I agree. I haven't changed mine yet. I don't see any reason to. Oh, thank you so much, Stanley. I just love doing this with you and helping you build. As Stanley wants to have 1 million subscribers, I believe by the end of next year, if I'm not mistaken. It could be this year, but I can't remember which year, but 1 million is a lot. So helping him one person at a time. Go try it out. Oops, hang on. I want to get this up here. So let's see what Coach Lee Hopkins says. You can also lower your bill by switching Wi-Fi companies. Most are doing 12-month specials. Just switch every year, no installation fee because they're already installed. Just flip a switch on there and then you're all set. Now, what do you think about, you know what? Thank you, Coach Lee, for bringing that up. I don't like that. I've done that. Why don't I, if I'm loyal, give me the loyalty price? What do you think about that kind of bait and switch?
Well, I really think that you have to be loyal to yourself because the companies are in the business of making money. And so a lot of times you've been a customer for a really long time. And I always see that they have these new client specials. And I'm like, hey, I've been here 5 years, 10 years. I want a special too. And sometimes you can just make that phone call and negotiate with them, and you can stay with the same company that you're with. But hey, if they're not willing to honor the relationship, then sometimes with relationships, you got to move on. That's part of that mindset, right? I think I agree with you. Like, why not me? And so,
yeah. But then, so it's very interesting. All right, let's go on to the cost of financial confusion. I think we've dabbled into it a little bit.
We did. Yes, we did a little dabbling.
Is there anything else about the cost? I mean, I think it's pretty clear. And I want to share how I was able to break through.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I was telling Coach Carrie about this. So my ex brought me a gym bag filled with mail. And this was after we were separated. Well, we weren't exes yet, but we were separated. We were still friends. He had 3 months worth of mail that he hadn't opened in this gym bag. He said, Leslie, I just can't open them. Now, look, there's no doubt that there's something from childhood and a fear right? That we're not going to get into. But I have to say, I had the same thing. But isn't it interesting, Carrie, that I could open his and put it in order and say, oh, look, you got to check with this and this and this. I could become very objective. But when it came to my own stuff, I couldn't do it. So the thing that I think that Coach Carrie is doing can do the same thing is that I had a conversation, I remember, with Leah Garcia. That was the first conversation I'd ever had. And she has the Wall of Wealth. And what I liked about it is that I didn't have to take everything. It was too confusing, right? Out of confusion comes clarity, and I'm not taking any steps if I'm confused. So I think that for me, it was making one choice, which goes back, right, to you. And the first step is to be willing and ready to have that conversation, just to get your toe in the water. Wouldn't you agree?
I would definitely agree, because looking at the third point that you brought up, the cost of financial confusion actually is the most expensive option always. And so the examples that we gave, if you think about that $400 a month for something I didn't need, over 2 years, that's $9,600.
Now you're getting
And
up to the big money.
right, but that's a lot of money over 2 years of time, just with that $400 a month. And one conversation showed me that, hey, $25, I could do the same thing. I just didn't know what I didn't know. And so waiting feels free, but it's really expensive.
I got it. And it definitely comes from the fear of poverty. It's like no news is good news. Because look, for me, it was always like around bill paying time. Leslie, what the hell is this from Hudson Belt Company? Oh, right. So I was always the kid who was being called out, right? And then one time I took it over, and the first time I bounced a check, he took it back, and I said, have it. I don't care about that anymore. I mean, it was just a pain in my neck. So, I mean, it really took something. So it's really to be ready and willing to broach the subject, put your toe in the water, and look maybe for one thing that you could do, which we've discussed several things here already. So let's end up here with clarity is the ultimate strategy. Why is that important? Why do you say that? What is your philosophy about clarity being our ultimate strategy for great finances?
Well, definitely it's the ultimate strategy, because when you're confused, you just don't move, and it costs you a lot of money. When you have clarity, not around the sales pitch, but just around what strategies and what solutions you could benefit from, it's just a conversation to help you see your numbers more clearly. And then you can make a decision from there. And you might decide to do exactly what you're doing, but it's permission based as opposed to fear based. And then you might see that there is one area where you want to start making some adjustments or have some additional conversations. And that's where that clarity comes in, because you can be afraid of a future that you can actually see. And so when you see what your options are, then you can make a decision based on clarity versus based on confusion. Think about, I love the fog. When you're driving and it's foggy outside, you want to pump the brakes. Maybe you don't want to go anywhere. But on a clear, sunny day where you know your destination, you can see exactly where you're going, you feel a lot safer. You feel more calm. And so it's the same thing with your money.
You're in charge.
You're in charge.
Right. You're in charge. You can make choices when you know. But again, one of the things, and look, here's Coach Leah Garcia, Queen, our Queen Leah, absolutely gold bar carrier. Confusion is the most costly item on the balance sheet. Yes. So the idea here is for you to see an opening for yourself. And the logical thing, if you're in this position where you're somewhat averse to really looking at it, maybe you're just not ready right now, but maybe you were somewhat inspired by this to actually dip your toe in the water. And this is, whoops, sorry. Goodness gracious. This is it. Okay. So this is your next step with Coach Carrie. Make a call. I've checked the QR code. Okay, it works. Make the call if you're ready and willing, and she will not give you 21 things to choose from, will you? You'll give them two.
Yeah,
You'll give
that's
them
it.
two, right? Give them two. So you'll be clear. You will not be overwhelmed because that's for me. I get confused when you give me too much information when I know nothing.
Hmm.
Right. Well, and I choose to know nothing because it's more comfortable to know nothing. So you go here to calendly.com, great finances. That's GR, the numeral 8 finances, and then / clarity. So I am so excited that you are here today. Leave us with one thing that you want us all to remember as we move out of our Monday and move through the week. Oh, look, Jay is here. Hey, Jay. This is
Jedi
yeah. I wish I had known all of this when I was much younger. I am my own. Yes, it's true. So leave us with last words for this engaged audience who have been patient and contributing the whole time that you want us to remember.
Well, first and foremost, I definitely want to say thank you to you for allowing me an opportunity to be one of the guest teachers on your Mind Over Matter Mondays. I watch every Monday. I'm at your show on Fridays. And so I implore people to show up at 11 a.m. and learn about these concepts about Think and Grow Rich. And if I were going to leave one thing for people, it is to take that first step, because waiting, it really is not free. It just feels like it is, but it's actually costing you a lot more on the back end. And the conversation is complimentary. So feel free to come on in and have a conversation.
I think that's beautiful. And what a nice offer, right? So take that step. It's not jumping into a 9-foot pool.
Right.
It's taking the first step into the baby pool. If you're in that place, and you may be and you may not be, but be honest with yourself and see if this isn't the time for you. Coach Carrie, I've just had them bring in some mimosas into the studio.
Thank you.
Okay, there's both ones with vodka and that are just orange juice. So you have your choice. And I'm going to move you back to the studio. Wait for me, and we'll have a few minutes of a chat after with the studio, after we're finished with the live. Okay, it'll be just a couple of minutes.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for the wonderful engagement and embracing Coach Carrie Willis today. And now, come next Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern, right here on StreamYard, where we study Think and Grow Rich and principles, leadership, and laws. And with that, my friends, I will send you off into your week with the beautiful outro, which you already saw. Let's keep our fingers crossed that I got the right one picked. This is done by Soul Man Live Productions, Soul Media Live Productions, and Aaron Gibson. Here we go. Make it a great week.